Hello, hello, hello. You may have seen some footage of me playing because people don't like it if you don't immediately have the instrument playing because they have a very short attention span. So I may have cut in some footage. I prefer to talk about stuff, show and tell, innit? So anyway, what we're doing here, this is a guitar that I thought I'd reviewed, but I hadn't reviewed. This is a Squier Bass 6. Okay. Now, the Bass 6 is a Fender guitar, obviously, and it goes back to the 1961, and it's quite a unique instrument in that it is a 6-string bass. 6-string, but not 6-string bass like a bass would be. I know, it's hard. It's 6-string bass as if you tuned down a guitar an octave. So it's tuned E to E, E to E, like a guitar. So So it's ideal for guitar players who want to dabble in bass and not have to learn the bass, whereas a 6-string bass is tuned B to B. Confusing, I know. Anyway, they were used a lot in the 60s. You might have even seen the Beatles in the Get Back documentary, John Lennon rocking one of these. I think it was a Sunburst one. Very popular in the 60s. They appeared on a lot of records, Beach Boys, you name it. One of these sometimes put down the bass parts. Anyway, there's been various reissues in the past, and this one came along in 2013. Now this one's a 2014 one. This is a vintage modified edition, and you can get it. You can still get these now. You can still get them now, but they're called the Classic Vibe. And what differentiates this from the Classic Vibe is you have a rosewood neck on here, which is nice if you like rosewood necks. You have the block and bound fingerboard, which is nice. You have 3 pickups, which are Jaguar style pickups, and the interesting Jaguar controls. There's a lot of reflection, too many lights. There's Jaguar controls there. We'll talk about those in a minute. So yeah, this is the like the previous Squier generation. You might find these out there. It's a nice instrument. I got this one in black, but I customised the pick guard. There is another video out there where you see me doing this. Maybe I'll put a link somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, it's a very interesting instrument because it is a bass, but it's also a guitar. So you can do bass stuff, but you can also do some very interesting lower pitched guitar things. The Cure loved the bass sixes, and you'll hear that on, like, if you're more contemporary kind of band, they use these instruments. Let me talk about this one. So like I said, I did customise the pick guard because this came with a white pick guard, but I wanted something a bit more interesting because I thought white was boring, so I bought this from WD Music. They do custom picks, very good, and also changed out the pickup covers into black ones because I thought the white ones looked a bit I bought this for 200 quid back in the day. I think about 2015, I think it was, because it was in a sale and nobody wanted it. It was missing its tremolo arm. So I bought it and I got a tremolo arm and I fixed it up and I made it look like this. It took a long time to get it intonated because the bridge, again, I've replaced the bridge with a Mustang bridge because I don't think the bridge that comes with the vintage modified is very good. So swap out that to a Mustang bridge instantly and you will solve your intonation problems, though you will need the screws pointing that way to get the extra length. Trust me, that is a Darren tip. Okay. And then, like I say, this is very much like a Jaguar in the controls, in that each switch turns on and off a pickup. So at the moment, all these pickups are on. If I turn that down, that's off, and that's off. Or you can have any combination you want, which gives it a lot of versatility when it comes to tone. You're probably asking, Darren, what does that switch do? Well, this is very much like the Jaguar control panel, is that it provides a bass frequency cut. So when you put it in that position, it cuts out a lot of the bass frequency and makes it more trebly, more guitar-like rather than bass-like, if you understand my drift. So you get an awful lot of tonal options with this instrument. yeah, it's a very unique guitar to own. And again, it's good that they've got the classic vibe version, because that does fix the. I think there is a better bridge with that one, and I think the nut's a bit wider as well. But you don't get the lovely. I'm going to say lovely rosewood neck. You get, I guess it's a Indian laurel. That seems to be the big one, which is a kind of rosewood. Yeah, so it's got a basswood body, or basswood, maple neck with rosewood fingerboard. There's the headstock there. Got a nice bit of figure in there, in the wood, and of course you've got the skunk stripe on the back. And yeah, so again, for my investment, very, very good. Would I recommend it? Yes, I would, because this is probably the cheapest inroads to try a bass 6 style guitar. There are other brands that kind of copy the style, but if you want one that's in a good budget range, this one, especially second-hand ones, you can go on eBay, find them in the $250 and above price range. They can still get them new. Again, the classic vibe range is still out there and still made by Squier at the time of recording this. Again, in the future, if you're watching this 100 years into the future, it might have all changed. So yeah, I think if you're a guitarist and you want to have a dabble with bass, or you're just looking for something a bit different, consider it. Consider it an interesting addition to your sonic arsenal. Ooh, fanciful stuff, isn't it? Now, of course, what I've done as I've spoken, so I'm recording this in one chunk, but I would have interspersed this with bits of me playing. And I apologise for that. Some of it will be good, some of it will be bad, and some of it will be mediocre. But it'll give you an illustration of what the instrument can do. And like I said, it's a very interesting thing, because you can play chords on it, or you can treat it as a bass and put the, cut the treble off and play it with your thumb like a bass, if you want. It's got that versatility. Or, like I said, you can play really big chords. That gives you an idea of what it sounds like without it being plugged in. So yeah, it's a very interesting instrument. I think the bass 6 is, again, I like things that are a little bit off the beaten track. They're a bit different, they're a bit weird and wonderful. And this is one of those weird and wonderful things. And if I had all the money in the world, I'd own an original one just to show off. But I think for 200 quid and what it cost me for the pick guard, probably about another 40 quid. I bet those prices have gone up now, because this was like 5-6 years ago. I managed to turn it into my own instrument, something that is mine, belongs to me, and has a unique look. And like I say, I'll link to the when I changed the pick guard and the pickup covers. There's a video I did a long time ago, and I'll include that so you can see what I did there. hopefully you've enjoyed my video about the Squier vintage modified base 6. So it's got written on the headstock there. A interesting thing. The only thing it doesn't have is the lock-in, because again some Jaguars have a lock-in tremolo system here where you can stop it moving in that direction. You can only have it going downwards. This doesn't have that. It just has like a floating tremolo, not lockable. But other than that, I think for the investment, I think I got myself a bargain. I got myself an interesting instrument, and yeah, go and check it out. My name's been Darren Locke. This has been the Squier vintage modified. I had to remember then. Base 6. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't, I'm sorry. There'll be another one along in a minute. Is there any more thing left to say? By now you should know what that is, and that is ta-da!